Chosen one, this moment is not a coincidence. Your soul was drawn to this video because the heavens whispered the same message to you 7 times. The number 1111 didn't appear before your eyes for nothing, and the prayers of 33 prophets did not fall upon you by chance. You are one of the 144,000 chosen, and your presence here is a divine sign. This message was sent to awaken the secret that has been resting within your heart. What you are about to hear are not just words, but divine vibrations that will sink deep into your soul. If these words are touching you, leave your heart in the comments so the heavens can witness your testimony. Because when you write, another soul will awaken. Now prepare yourself, for this video will illuminate your path. Those who recognize the signs of God know that nothing is random. That's why your being here is already a miracle. Every like is a light. Every comment is a testimony. Every subscription is a voice added to the 1,000 we are reaching for. Be one of them today. Select one and end the scroll. It's not only a message you're about to hear. It is a divine directive directly from the heavenly throne. It's urgent. It's not a coincidence that you're watching this at the moment. You came here because of God. You need to hear what He has to say regarding your next season. This is not punishment, it is preparation. God said, do not react. Stay silent. Shut your mouth. Not because you are weak, but because your miracle is closer than you think. The enemy is trying to bait you, and people are trying to provoke you. Hearing this could delay your reward. This is not the time to clap back. This is not the time to defend yourself. God said, be quiet and watch me work. He is not saying this to be negative, but rather because your life is about to change in a way that will silence every critic, every liar, and every voice that rose against you. Your silence is an offensive tactic. Your tactic is to remain still. The breakthrough you've been hoping for will be unlocked by your obedience in this very moment. Do these 3 things before we delve farther into this prophetic insight. To spread this message to more people, pause the video and click the like button. Because the number 99 carries heavenly alignment, leave a remark below to join an expanding family of spiritual warriors. And your obedience is aligning with heaven today. Your spirit already knows this is for you if you are truly selected. You might learn the most valuable lesson of your life from what follows, so stay tuned until the very end. Sometimes in life, silence is more powerful than words, and this is one of those holy moments. God is giving His chosen people a holy command. Keep quiet. Silence is your shield, not because you're afraid or defeated. Heaven is planning something enormous during this time of change that is beyond your current comprehension. And God is instructing you to keep your voice down to safeguard it. In the midst of life's chaos, we frequently feel the need to defend our behavior, explain ourselves, or address criticism. However, this stillness is not a punishment. Rather, God is saying, no, not this time. It's a tactic. You have a spiritual weapon in your quiet. It protects your breakthrough like a wall. Heaven knows you're just creating space for the miraculous, even though the world could misinterpret your silence. Let them speak. Let them make assumptions. You are not required to address every question or counter every assault because what is about to happen to you will address them all. God is saying, I'll speak for you later if you don't say anything now. And nobody will doubt what I have done in your life when I speak. This is a precious occasion. God is bringing heaven and your destiny into alignment at this spiritual crossroads. And in that alignment, He needs your undivided, undisturbed, and uninterrupted attention. You make room for divine insight when you remain silent. You can tune out the world's noise and focus on God's voice when there is silence. Have you ever been too preoccupied to notice something significant? God is attempting to stop that. He's protecting you from distractions that can ruin your future by requesting your silence. To allow you to hear the whisper of His will, He is muting the cacophony outside. Your stance needs to convey that what's about to happen isn't typical. Still, modest, and perceptive. To obey, you don't need to comprehend everything. Being silent when everything inside of you wants to speak can sometimes be a sign of faith. That's the religion here. To trust God is to trust His timing. And He's telling you right now, your miracle is in danger. Don't talk. Just watch. I'm going to move. Think of it like carrying a candle through a storm. One wrong move could blow it out, but if you protect it, nurture it, and guard it with silence, it will light up your entire path. Many people unknowingly speak their miracles away. This is not because it is weak, but because it is sacred, and sacred things need to be protected. God is telling you, don't be like them, since they make announcements too soon, quarrel when they should be watching, and explain their trip to others who shouldn't comprehend it. So that I can expose you in power, let me labor in silence. Just like a woman protects her unborn child, so too should you preserve your vow. It's not necessary for everyone to know what's developing within you. It's not intended for everyone to comprehend, and not everyone will. Since God's actions are inexplicable, let your silence convey what your words cannot. It's divine. Reactions are frequently regrettable, passionate, and impulsive. However, holy, purposeful silence and replies are gestures of faith. God isn't merely telling you to keep quiet right now. He's putting you to the test. When everything in you wants to say something, can you trust Him enough to keep quiet? Will you respond, or will you take comfort in Him when someone irritates you or when life appears unfair? It is not passive to be patient. Active faith is what it is. It's making the decision to trust that God is at work even when nothing seems to be changing. The chosen ones are put to the test in silence, just like gold is put to the test in a fire. I'm not ignoring you. They're refining you. You'll pass the test and give your testimony if you can control your emotions. Keep in mind that you don't have to be destroyed by the enemy. All he needs is for you to react incorrectly. Heaven's preparations could be delayed by a single outburst, emotional lapse, or harsh phrase. Opportunities from God often come as a surprise, but your quiet surrender and patience declare, God, I trust you more than I trust my feelings. They aren't always accompanied by dazzling lights and fanfare. They can occasionally appear in silence or whispers. And for that reason, silence has such power. It puts you in a position to see what others miss. You're sensitive while you're quiet. You're ready when you're sensitive. Only those who are listening and not talking will be able to pass through the doors that are about to open. Additionally, you risk speaking poorly of yourself if you explain, defend, or disclose too much. Jesus frequently withdrew in quiet before significant events for a cause. He understood that peace, not popularity, was needed to handle the weight of what lay ahead. Your spiritual radar is your silence. It keeps you awake. Being grounded, conscious, and in the moment will ensure that you don't miss what's rightfully yours. Therefore, don't let your slow season depress you. It isn't vacant. It's anticipated. You'll need both hands free when God puts something in your hands. Not overflowing with arguments, justifications, or phrases. Words have great power. They change, mold, and form atmospheres. However, words can also be destructive when they are spoken out of season. God is giving His people a warning. It's possible for your mouth to stand in the way of your breakthrough. This is not the time to fight, complain, or make an effort to convince someone of anything. You should use your silence to allow God to prove Himself at this moment. You can lose your future without cursing it. Talking too soon, sharing with the wrong person, or letting your feelings take over when your soul should be listening are all examples of this. The tongue is a tiny organ. However, it has the ability to change life or death. Even if you might not be aware of it, one angry remark or one eruption of passion has the power to change everything. Don't let your cry be lost because you want to be heard. In order to receive favor later, God is requesting that you sow silence now. In private, talk over yourself, but in public, especially while under duress, keep quiet. Let the outcomes do the talking. Make your elevation your justification. Silence is the cost, and your blessing is at stake. A miracle is considered sacrosanct. It does not have to be defended or paraded. It must be protected. Your miracle needs to be shielded from the elements until it is ready to bloom, much like a seed buried in soil. Stillness is your shelter, God is telling you. I can do more the less you say. Imagine the stillness of a womb. Quietness is where growth occurs. Development occurs in the shadows. Nothing is necessarily happening just because nothing is visible. Your spiritual miracle is no different. Stillness is necessary for the deep divine work that God is performing within of you. Avoid making noise to disrupt the procedure. You are at a sacred place. In the silence now, your future is being shaped. You are in harmony with heaven each time you choose to remain motionless rather than react. God recognizes that this stillness isn't meaningless when you tell him, I trust the process. It is brimming with faith. Additionally, your faith is erecting a barrier around your miracle that is impenetrable by demons. There are conditions attached to some blessings, and time is one of those prerequisites. Simply speaking, too soon causes many people to miss divine portals. Before it's time, they reveal the specifics of what God is accomplishing. They also encourage sabotage, uncertainty, and delay by doing this. It's not secrecy that keeps you silent. It has to do with spiritual discernment. We are on the way to 1,000 subscribers, and your action makes the difference. Subscribe, like, and comment to amplify the mission of Chosen Archangel. Consider the biblical figure of Joseph. His own brothers became envious and betrayed when he revealed his goals too soon. The timing of the sentences was incorrect, but the dream itself was not. Your chance is like a delicate flower poking its head above the ground. Instead of stomping feet, it requires sunlight. Additionally, others may crush what God is growing if you talk before the roots are established. Avoid being weakened because you are in a haste to be understood. You don't need approval for your miracle. It must be cultivated. Additionally, that cultivation takes place in silence. When the time comes, you'll be able to tell. And you won't need to utter a thing because it will be so evident and divine. It will be self-evident. Your quiet could be interpreted as weakness by others. Permit them, because it is interpreted by heaven as preparation, strength, and intelligence. You're not giving up when you decide to remain silent. You're getting ready. God is setting you up for something more than what your surroundings can handle. Prior to combat, visualize a warrior. Instead of shouting, they concentrate. They have breath. They wait for the appropriate time. Your silence is accomplishing just that. It's strengthening your heart, improving your vision, and increasing your stamina. You're not hiding. God is keeping you hidden until the appropriate moment. And it will be strong when he reveals you. The loudest folks aren't always the strongest. They have the highest level of discipline. And the chosen ones are distinguished by their discipline. A magnificent arrangement is taking place right now. God uses the quiet time to give you the things you need for the upcoming season. Let others speak. You maintain your concentration. Silence before the limelight is necessary for greatness. Not everyone will enjoy this. This calling will not be understood by everyone. You're not everyone, though. You have been selected. The pick must also walk in a different way. In a manner that others will not comprehend, you are being called to wait. Your silence is more than a directive. It is an indication of your choice. It is proof that you are unique in God's eyes. In a noisy environment, listening is a forgotten art. However, listening is crucial for the chosen. Now is your time to listen to what others cannot hear by letting yourself sink into the silence. God is whispering direction, wisdom, and strategy. However, the whisper can only be heard by those who remain silent. He's not shouting. He's trying to see who's listening. Keep quiet while you wait. Await with anticipation. It's a peaceful procedure, so don't hurry. The pace is slow, so don't panic. Delay is not silence. It's the design. In you, God is creating something timeless. When it's time to take action, you'll do it with such strength, courage, and clarity that everyone will realize you were paying attention to what they had to say. You have no obligation to explain your silence to anyone. The one to respond, to speak, to protect oneself. It is not divinely inspired. It originates from those who are unaware of what God is doing in your life at the moment. You risk missing God's invitation if you try to live up to other people's expectations. Now is not the time to win folks over. Now is the time to give thanks to God. Silence is not a sign of passivity or humility. You are walking in obedience, which is why you are keeping quiet. Your life has a burden that others are unaware of. A fate that cannot be satisfied by distraction. You can be accused of being cold, aloof, or conceited. But keep in mind that Jesus himself left the crowd in order to accomplish his mission. The same people who questioned your quiet will be amazed by your accomplishment when your miracle materializes. Let it be your answer. Give voice to the results of your faith. Right now, being famous is not God's calling for you. He is requesting that you take a position. Additionally, positioning frequently calls for you to remain motionless while everyone else moves. Criticism is loud. It's intrusive. The purpose is to provoke. However, you're not here to defend. It is your destiny to walk here. You don't fight fire with fire, but the enemy would love for you to waste your time answering every insult and justifying your value to every doubter. You combat fire with concentration. Calm spirits possess an unrivaled power. The pandemonium loses control when you don't react to it. Being silent in the face of criticism is a sign of wisdom, not weakness. You're refusing to put yourself in the same position as your detractors. Elevation is what you're choosing above annoyance. This is a sign of spiritual growth. Champions think like this. The injustice is seen by God. He notices their words. He is aware of their actions. Nor is he requesting that you fix it. He is pleading with you to have faith that he will defend you. Your answer might deny him the opportunity. Therefore, keep your mouth shut, raise your gaze, and let your silence to be the seed of your validation. They will witness God's next move. The wait is nearly over. That feeling that something is changing, that pain in your soul. You're not thinking about it. It's the signal from above. Something that will change your life is about to happen. And before the promise comes, your silence is your last act of trust. Don't give up just yet. You are closer to your miracle than you realize. God doesn't tell you everything because he wants you to focus on him rather than the result. The task is done by you. You have demonstrated faith. And now what God has started is being sealed by your silence. In the same way that stillness and obedience were necessary before the walls of Jericho fell, your breakthrough will also occur when you complete this last test of faith. Wait a moment. Take a breath. Have faith. Denial was not what the divine delay was. It was a design. In the background, God has been lining up every little detail. What appears to be heavenly silence is actually a tactic. And everything will happen all at once when the timing is right. God has a purpose for your life that isn't hectic, and you will look back on this quiet time and think, it was worth it. It's well-timed, purposeful, and intentional. But in order to be in line with it, you have to let go of the impulse to dictate every moment and offer commentary on every circumstance. You align yourselves with silence. It stills your soul, humbles your heart, and creates space for heavenly downloads that only occur in silence. How can you hear if you're constantly talking, responding, and explaining? In what way can you get it? Being silent creates a vessel for God to fill. Moses at the burning bush comes to mind. He didn't talk over you. He paid attention. This season requires you to do it. Holy listening. The world's cacophony is designed to divert your attention from your task. However, remaining silent binds you to your Father's voice. He's not merely requesting that you silence yourself. To unite your soul with his is what he is requesting. When you calm down, heaven becomes accessible. Clarity emerges, revelation flows, and your next move becomes clear. It was because you agreed with it, not because you pushed it. This quiet won't last forever. There is a reason for it. And this is the goal. God is preparing to raise you up. It will not be because you yelled your way to the top or argued your way into a position when he did. It will be because you silently trusted him. The upcoming success will undoubtedly be divine. The same people who made fun of your quiet time will be amazed by your ascent. They will be unable to deny that a supernatural event occurred. Nothing will need to be proven by you. The evidence will be your life. Your recompense will be permanent, strong, and public. Your quiet will have spoken volumes. Now is your time. It wasn't missed by you. It wasn't ruined by you. Despite the pain, you have remained obedient. And those who seek God assiduously, even in silence, will be rewarded. So get up softly. Wait with humility. Have a great deal of faith, because your quiet does not mean that the story is over. A miracle that will transform everything is about to begin. Silence is sometimes heaven's loudest response. There isn't a void. This is an invitation. It's not that God isn't there when he guides you into a time of holy silence. The reason for this is that he is setting the stage for a miracle that calls for whole faith. The key to something much bigger than what loudness could possibly create is silence. Heaven and your destiny are being aligned by God. And that calls for all of your spiritual focus. God is about to perform a sacred miracle in your life. Furthermore, holy things are not yelled from roofs. In silence, they are murmured. Your breakthrough is developing beneath the surface, much like a seed that silently bursts through the earth before sprouting. You run the danger of upsetting the divine timing if you speak too soon or try to hurry it. In silence, your miracle is growing. Don't interfere with God's perfecting process. Divine sculpting occurs throughout every instance of divine quiet. Your intuition, intellect, and heart are all being honed by God. You can't manage what he's bringing you into with a restless spirit. Accept the quiet as a divine promise rather than a punishment. The world will soon see what he is creating inside of you. But you have to believe and remain motionless initially. The next phase of your destiny is instantly accessible through this silent gateway. You're not stranded. Don't just watch, engage. Subscribe to Chosen Archangel, press like, and leave your amen in the comments. Together, we rise to 1,000. They're strategically placing you. To preserve the miracle and get the audience ready, God has kept you silent. And your life will speak louder than words when he opens the next chapter. Laziness is not being still. It's not a state of stagnation. It is a position of spirituality. God is putting you in the proper position to receive the extraordinary when he wants you to remain motionless. Not all blessings occur during hectic times. Usually, they show themselves when your soul is calm enough to perceive them. Instead of fighting silence, you need to learn to accept it. Consider it. Waters reflect when they are still. Silence makes things clear. And God is giving you vision when you are still. He is revealing to you aspects of your life, your purpose, and your next move that you were unable to see while you were moving. Not that you're doing nothing. You're giving everything to God. In the Bible, many of God's most powerful actions followed silence. Elijah heard God in the quiet little whisper rather than in the wind, the fire, or the earthquake. He shouted, but that voice didn't come. When he was quiet, it arrived. Even though your blessing is already there, you can only open the door fearlessly and clearly if you remain motionless. This season may make you feel unproductive, but believe me, heaven is in motion. Destiny is aligning, angels are orchestrating, and your task is to stay motionless and accept. God is slowing things down for your benefit. Don't hurry. You are being shaped for a lasting benefit by the silence. Many times, obedience is misinterpreted. Action isn't always the key. Inaction can be the problem at times. When God commands you to be silent, he is not attempting to conceal who you are. Your fate is being guided by him. The secret to your next breakthrough lies in your spiritual obedience to remain silent during this time. It's more than just self-control. It has to do with trust. Many breakthroughs are delayed because we opened our mouths when God ordered us to wait, not because he changed his mind. Rather than obeying spiritual guidance, we gave way to our emotions. Usually, obedience is silent. It doesn't yell. It doesn't dispute. It just follows and listens. I may not understand, but I trust you more than I trust my own voice, is what your current silent obedience is telling God. Silent obedience to God opens a door that might have remained closed due to disobedience. That obedience has the capacity to pave the path for marvels that are impossible to create on your own. Imagine Noah constructing an ark while there is no sign of rain. He had no one to explain his obedience to. He was simply following God's instructions. Your ark is being built by your quiet. The blessed flood is on its way. Noise isn't always the key to breakthrough. It is the result of alignment. And the thing that will open doors that no one else can is your alignment with God's voice during this silent time. So don't say anything. Obedience is preferable to sacrifice because your reward is wrapped in your submission, not only because it's simpler. In God's kingdom, timing is crucial. Furthermore, divine timing encompasses more than just the timing of events. It all depends on how you react while you're waiting. You can demonstrate to God that you trust His timing over your feelings by choosing to remain silent rather than respond. Heaven takes note of that type of trust. Fear or pride are often the driving forces behind reaction. However, faith and confidence in God's sovereignty are what motivate silence. Relying on God to handle your circumstances is what happens when you remain silent when your flesh cries out. Anything type of surrender sets off supernatural timing. You're saying, I don't need to fix this. God's already handled it in eternity. When God asks us to stop, we frequently desire to take action. When God asks us to rest, we want to answer. However, in silence, some of the greatest triumphs in the Bible were achieved. The Israelites stood motionless, and the Red Sea opened. The people marched in silence, and the walls of Jericho collapsed. Silence has strength, particularly when combined with divine timing. The clock of God is in perfect order. It's flawless. And you'll align with that moment and enter blessings that no reaction could ever provide if you can keep quiet when your body begs you to act. This is your test. Is it possible for God to intervene on your side if you remain silent? Your quiet is more than simply the absence of sound. It serves as a weapon, a shield, and a statement of spiritual maturity. Choosing peace via stillness is an act of rebellion against the enemy in a world that thrives on conflict and disorder. Silence protects your peace because it prevents the opponent from using your words against you. You don't have to be destroyed by a storm from the adversary. All he has to do is make you open your mouth at the wrong moment. One rash word, one angry outburst, one talk that wasn't appropriate for some people. All of these are traps. However, you completely disarm the enemy when you remain silent. He has nothing to twist, nothing to take advantage of, and nothing to employ. Your silence during this time of year is the price you pay for peace. Not everyone should be able to read your mind. Not every circumstance calls for your reaction. Sometimes saying nothing at all is the most impactful thing you can do. That isn't being passive. It is the wisdom of God. Your destiny, your heart, and your mind will all be safeguarded by that wisdom. Because it is, protect your tranquility as you would a treasure. You get clearer the quieter you are. You have more power the less you say. God is preparing you for something so important in that peaceful place that it needs to be shielded from both internal turmoil and external disturbance. Allow your calm to be heard more clearly than your voice ever could. You said a prayer. You've been waiting. Now that you have faith, miracles are coming your way. However, God has one last request. Keep calm and get ready. Avoid being sidetracked. Take your time sharing. Avoid talking out of turn. Noise doesn't work miracles. They enter spaces that have been prepared by devoted stillness. Silent preparation is different. It's within. It is not visible. You are being built in silence while others are working noisily. Heaven is like that. In stillness before joy, underground before visible. In the same way that a bride gets ready in private before the wedding. Before the miracle arrives, your spirit must be prepared in stillness. During surgery, you wouldn't shout orders. It's not appropriate to yell during a symphony. Miracles must be revered. God is adjusting your life, piecing together your destiny, and creating opportunities that only come from silence. The question is, will your silence be in homage to the holy? Get your heart ready. Get your thoughts straight. Rest your soul. Already, the miracle is approaching. Right now, God only needs your trust and stillness. Your voice is not needed for what is about to happen. You must be prepared for it. And that preparedness is developed in the stillness, apart from outside distractions, and in God's presence. Before they are made public, some of God's greatest gifts are concealed. They are hidden away where only stillness can find them. It is God's desire to protect them for you, not to keep them away from you. Premature speech exposes your blessing to unprepared circumstances and individuals who lack the heart to deal with it. A seed is planted when God gives you a vision, a calling, a relationship, or a breakthrough. That seed won't survive if you dig it up too soon to display it. God is requesting your silence to uphold the vow, not to punish you. Simply because we made our announcements too soon, some items are delayed. Before it's walked out, not every next step should be discussed. Right now, blessings are coming your way. Blessings that are specifically tailored to your future, your obedience, and your character. However, they need discretion and are enshrouded in divine timing. God employs silence as the package in which His promises are delivered. If you rip the envelope too soon, you run the danger of ripping the contents as well. Keep the hidden things safe. Protect the holy. Exposure and elevation are not the same thing. If you speak too quickly, you may miss the blessing that is meant for you, but it won't miss you. Have faith that the things God has entrusted to your care are safest in His time. Keep quiet to protect your season. Some doors require you to shut your mouth before they will open. It's not harsh. It's sacred. God is aligning you with supernatural acceleration, open doors, and divine appointments throughout this season. However, you need to be silent enough to hear the directions and still be able to follow them without objecting. Talking is frequently used as a control mechanism, controlling people's attitudes, perceptions, or even results. However, trust is the antithesis of control. God is urging you to embrace silence in order to relinquish control. Your spirit and His spirit synchronize during that quiet, and your pace starts to correspond with His plan. You stop chasing doors once you align. For you, they start to open. Imagine carrying a key as you approach a closed door, only to have it open on its own the instant you stop talking. That's what's taking place. You are not being prevented from access by your silence. You're getting access to it. It will be easier for you to walk in accordance with God's will if you speak less during this season. Allow God to speak for you. Our goal is clear: 1,000 voices united. Every subscriber, every like, every comment gets us closer. Stand with chosen Archangel today. Allow your life to serve as the reaction, the breakthrough, and the testament. Your words have carried a great deal of suffering, defense, and justification. However, it's time to relax and allow God to align everything. No longer is silence a passive reaction. It's a spirit-based power move. There is a test for each elevation. And stillness is your test at the moment. When provoked, are you able to remain silent? When misinterpreted, can you remain motionless? Can you remain silent while God works behind the scenes to get you promoted? These are not rhetorical questions. They are critical of the spiritual. God is getting ready to elevate you. However, He cannot uplift someone whose spirit is out of control. Your preparedness to ascend is closely related to your capacity to remain silent. The air gets thinner as you ascend, and more superfluous weight has to drop. One of the ways God lets you let go of things that don't belong at the next level is through silence. This is not going to be an easy test. When it's inconvenient, it will arrive. You will be inclined to respond, to explain, to speak up for once. But keep in mind that your elevation is observing at that precise instant. Your response is being recorded by heaven. Additionally, passing this test will allow you to enter places you never would have imagined. It's not enough to simply keep your mouth shut. It's about developing your personality. God can trust you with leadership if He can trust you with silence. You can manage your advancement if you can let go of your words. You are preparing for a platform with this stillness, and only those who are disciplined will rise. You've wasted too much time attempting to make sense of yourself to people who weren't supposed to comprehend you. This time, however, God is saying, you don't have to defend your choices. No more explanations. Trust is letting God speak for you, trusting that your character, your constancy, and your peaceful obedience will speak louder than words ever could. You don't need to justify your silence. The miracles that are coming to you will explain all you couldn't say. Let go of the justifications you've been practicing in your head. You're in a spiritual birthing chamber, not a courtroom. People may misinterpret your quiet and believe you're helpless, stuck, or defeated. Chosen one, remember this, heaven never sends a word without purpose. If this message has stirred your spirit, let it shine brighter. Press like so the light spreads to others walking in darkness. Subscribe to Chosen Archangel so you never miss the next divine revelation. And share your thoughts in the comments below. Your testimony may be the very spark that awakens another soul. Until we meet again, stay covered by the wings of heaven and walk boldly in your calling.